game so fun.
You got it, you won!
Split Second, every night at 7:30, only on Game Show Network.
The following is a presentation sponsored by the Inkwell Academy.
Welcome to the Inkwell Academy Book Club, where authors from around the world share their publishing journeys and highlight the best books in North America. Join us for exclusive insights into diverse literary voices and captivating storytelling. So, sit back, relax, and immerse yourself in the magic of storytelling with Inkwell Academy Book Club.
I am here with author Christy Windle. She is the author of My Dad is the Greatest at Playing Monster. Christy, I want to pick your brain a little bit about your book today. What would you like to tell us about it?
Well, it is a book about the relationship that a father has with his children. And in the book, it is told from the perspective of the little boy. And most of the time, children have this larger than life image of their dads. And so I just wanted to capture that in book form, if that's even possible to do. And the little boy just basically is telling the playtime adventure that he and his little sister, you can't leave out little sisters, are having with their dad as they play monster. So that's what the book is about. It's fun. And that's it.
Wonderful. Well, and kind of give us the background, the kind of the inspiration behind your book.
Well, the inspiration for this book actually came about 4 years ago when my son is 10 now, but he was, I guess, around 7. And he came to me after he and his dad were playing football in the yard. And he said, "You know what, Mommy?" He said, "Daddy is the greatest at playing football." And I looked at him at that moment and I said, "You know what, buddy?" I said, "That would make a really good book or a book series." And even at 7, I had talked to my family about possibly wanting to write a children's book. I just wanted to capture that. Not just for my husband, which he needed to hear that, which he heard it all the time, but also for other dads, because fathers, they have a tough job as being the heads of their households, at jobs, and just all the things that pull them. I think a lot of times dads feel like failures and that they're not doing enough. And so I just wanted to remind them through this book that they're doing a great job. A lot of them are, and they need to be reminded and also need to know and remember that their children really do think they are really great at a lot of things. So that's one inspiration. The other inspiration to write it is also hopefully to inspire and to remind people that this relationship that fathers and sons and daughters have is also a picture of our relationship with our Heavenly Father.
If you enjoyed that interview with author Christy Windle and would like to purchase My Dad is the Greatest at Playing Monster, simply scan the QR code with your phone to purchase your copy today.
This is you. You've written a book. Congratulations. But wait, to be a true author, you have to actually publish your book. Discover Publishers will help you find the right publisher to edit, illustrate, print, sell, distribute, and promote your book. We will match your needs with our list of qualified publishers and agents to find the right fit. It's completely free. We put you in the driver's seat as publishers rush to your door to get your book in bookstores. Make publishing houses come to you.
Call 888-385-1985 or scan the QR code for your free writer's guide.
We are here today talking with Chad Mottice about his book, Grandpa Norman and the North Hill Gang, Chocolate Thoughts. Chad, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Scott, for having me.
Tell us a little bit about this book.
So the concept of Grandpa Norman and the North Hill Gang is an idea of, we live here in Akron, Ohio, and it's the North Hill community that we live in, and it's the international community in Akron. And in our time here, we have spent so much effort and energy around people with so much diversity and so many different backgrounds. And we said to ourselves, how could we pass that along, that concept of inclusion and diversity and all those things? And we thought animals in the middle of the forest, working together, working their way through life's challenges, life's questions in a loving, nurturing type way. And that's where the concept of the book comes from. So this very first one is Grandpa Norman and the North Hill Gang. It's called Chocolate Thoughts. I won't steal too much of the story, but it deals around the idea of three of the kids in that area getting an opportunity to have some chocolate that had these little thoughts that were attached to them, and reading those thoughts and trying to look at it with youthful enthusiasm, and Grandpa Norman, the main character, kind of explaining it to them and letting them learn through that. Grandpa Norman is modeled after a dear friend of mine named Minister Norman Moore. And it looks like him. If we're going to do some video work in regard to interviewing him and making sure we bring all this to life, but he's the central figure. Each of the people in the story are either family members or neighbors or people that we've met along the way. That will certainly layer itself as hopefully a very detailed quilt over time. That is the intent. We have the second book written already, and we hope to have that out around March. But the idea is, and I'm telling people as we go through this process, you get airdropped in the middle of this culture, in the middle of this family for this first story. You're just showing up at the doorstep and you're seeing everything happen on what I would consider a basic Friday afternoon or a basic Saturday afternoon. And as you continue to listen to the stories and read more of the stories, and we're building a lot of these little micro stories that we're going to put on social media, these little minute to 2 minute vignettes that even build the characters more, and you start to know what they're going to do, almost start to be able to predict how they're going to react in certain ways and watch them grow. That is the plan, to have this process really build on each other, the backstories build, and really make this into a very cognitive plan over time.
What an incredible preview from author Chad Mottice. If you would like to purchase Grandpa Norman and the North Hill Gang, simply scan the QR code with your phone to purchase your copy today.
So you've written a book. Congratulations, you're a writer. The next step is to find a publisher that will want to publish your book. So whether you're writing a children's book, a spiritual book, or perhaps suspense or horror genre, even sci-fi! Discover Publishers connects authors to publishers. And the best part, our referral services are free.
Find the right publisher. Call 888-385-1985 or scan the QR code for your free writer's guide.
Now let's join in and hear from author Roger Messer with his book, Tort Wars.
Sure. This is my book cover right here. The name of the book is Tort Wars, and it is a book about the civil justice system. We have two kinds of systems here. We have criminal, we have civil. There's a lot of crimes in my book. I represent victims. I don't represent the state. It's basically 25 separate stories about cases I've handled in my career. I've had well over 100, about 150 civil jury trials, but about half the cases in here were settlements, not trials. But you get an idea of what the system's about. and it's not just written for lawyers. It's written for people out there in the public who would like to know what their rights are, who may never be injured, may never have a problem. Was a very cathartic and a pleasure to write it, by the way. It took me a long time. The book runs a gamut of tort law, okay? Torts are a civil wrong. An attorney or law student would know what tort wars mean, okay? The average individual might not, but hopefully they'll learn a little bit about their rights if they read the book. I'm proud of what I've done. I wrote the book. It took a long time. When I finished the initial draft of the book, I didn't send it to the publisher first. I sent it to a very good friend of mine who is a New York Times best-selling author. His name is Joaquin Froxatis. He lives in Orlando. He's an attorney. And he read it, and he called me and said, "Roger, you got a winner here. You got to get it published." He says, "But you're missing something important." I said, "What's that, Jay?" He said, "You need a good blurb for the back of the book." And he wrote it for me. When I decided to finish it, it was because I wanted to tell my grandchildren. I wanted to tell my grandchildren what it was about, and maybe their children. But I initially started it because of my clients, and particularly one client.
Interested in learning more about your rights? Tort Wars by author Roger Messer is available today. Simply scan the QR code with your phone to purchase your copy today.
This is you. You've written a book. Congratulations. But wait, to be a true author, you have to actually publish your book. Discover Publishers will help you find the right publisher to edit, illustrate, print, sell, distribute, and promote your book. We will match your needs with our list of qualified publishers and agents to find the right fit. It's completely free. We put you in the driver's seat as publishers rush to your door to get your book in bookstores. Make publishing houses come to you.
Call 888-385-1985 or scan the QR code for your free writer's guide.
Now let's hear from author Aurelia L. Spencer and get insight about her book, Mama, Where Did Nanna Go?
Well, the book is a wonderful tribute to the relationship I had with my own grandmother. Growing up, my grandmother taught me how to bake, and we did each other's hair, things like that. We planted flowers in the garden. And so it's a tribute to that relationship, and really, a dedication to the relationship that children have with their grandparents. It's a very special and unique type of relationship. And the book goes into once Nanna does get sick and pass away, the little girl in the book has to adjust. She has to learn how to go on without her grandmother, and the book walks the little girl through that. And she comes to understand how what she learned from her grandmother and the things that she did with her grandmother strengthen her. And she is able to go on and to continue to do those things that she did with her grandmother, but still know that her grandmother is with her because she has that memory of doing those things with her grandmother. And so it's comforting. It lets her know her grandmother is always with her.
You talked about it's kind of written to honor your own grandmother. Was there kind of a point in time, or was it more of a process where you decided to write this book and to kind of share this story?
The idea for the book came to me early this year. I was an adult when my grandmother passed away, so I wasn't a little girl, but I still remember the pain of coming to her house after she passed away and looking into her bedroom as if somehow she would be there, and just feeling that absence, the void of her not being there. And so I thought how difficult it must be for a child to try to wrap their head around the loss of a loved one, to understand what death is, and that, you know, it could be possible to still understand that their loved one is with them. And so that was the inspiration for the book.
Did you enjoy that interview with author Aurelia Spencer about her book, Mama, Where Did Nanna Go? Simply scan the QR code with your phone to purchase your copy today.
This is you. You've written a book. Congratulations. You're a writer. But wait, to be a true author, you have to actually publish your book. So the next step is to find a publisher or agent that shouts it out to the world that you're a real author. This is where we come in. Discover Publishers will help you find the right publisher to edit, illustrate, print, sell, distribute, and promote your book. We will match your needs with our list of qualified publishers and agents to find the right fit. And the best part, it's completely free. We connect publishers with writers just like you. We put you in the driver's seat as publishers rush to your door to get your book in bookstores. Publishers have specific strengths. We know them and will find the right ones for you. Don't run all over town. Make publishing houses come to you. Discover Publishers gets you free access to the leading publishers in the industry. Fast.
Find the right publisher. Call 888-385-1985. That's 888-385-1985. 888-385-1985. Or scan the QR code for your free writer's guide.
We're here today talking with Stephanie Caldwell, author of It's All Questionable, Tales from the Single Life. Stephanie, thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
So tell us about your book.
Well, it's called It's All Questionable. It's about me basically starting my life over. I moved from Georgia to Tennessee about 12 years ago. Just decided I needed a little reset of my life. I needed to start my life over. Things weren't really happening for me in Georgia, so I jumped ship and came to Tennessee. And on that very first day, I decided I needed to start writing a blog. So it's called Gypsy Soul, and it was basically just a public journal that I was writing. Finally, I started thinking about it. There's so many dreams I have that I have not followed through with. I mean, throughout my whole life, like after college. Should have went to film school, didn't. I want to be on the radio, haven't done that. There's lots of things that I haven't followed through with. So I'm like, you know what? This is something that I can do. Apparently I have a knack for it. And so I just started stringing these stories together and wrote a book. And they basically have a lot to do with online dating, hence the name of Tales from a Single Life. And I basically look at all these train wreck stories that I have, and I know a lot of people can relate to that. Being out there in the single life, dating is not easy. It's a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of craziness, and especially when you're doing it online. So I took all those stories, put them together, made a book, and that's pretty much how it all started.
What an incredible look at author Stephanie Caldwell's book, It's All Questionable, Tales from the Single Life. Interested in learning more? Simply scan the QR code with your phone to purchase your copy today.
We're here today talking with Christopher Lockwood about his book and his story, his life. The title of the book is called Why the Cane. Chris, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, Scott, thank you. I'm very pleased to talk with you and look forward to discussing the book, Why the Cane.
Yeah, let's start there. Just tell us a little bit, give us some insight into your book.
Well, this is a personal memoir. 34 years ago, in 1989, when I was age 42, I was struck by a car and very seriously injured. My left leg was 90% severed. I was flown by helicopter the day of the accident from Maine, where I lived, to Mass General Hospital in Boston. And life for me and my family, my wife and my 4 children, was literally turned upside down in a split second. It was a year after many, many surgeries before we knew with any certainty whether or not they would ultimately be able to save my leg where it had some reasonable function, which ended up happening, but it was a real roller coaster. But I have a brace that I wear, and among other things, I have what's known as foot drop. I can push my left foot down, but I can't pull it up. But the book talks about the accident, as I and my family all refer to this defining moment in our lives. And it shares not only the trauma and how we made it through, but most importantly, it shares absolutely life-changing advice and counsel I got from an incredible rehabilitation doctor a year and a half to 2 years after the accident. And I'll explain that, but it literally has changed my life to the point that 34 years later, I am so much more active than I ever thought I would have been. And I want to share this incredible advice with others, because it certainly was totally contrary to my thinking, and I think a lot of conventional thinking. I would tell you that the most important advice that I received from this rehab doctor that I needed to hear was that it doesn't matter what other people think. I needed to make decisions that were right for myself.
Why the Cane? Transformation and Recovery After a Traumatic Injury from author Christopher G. Lockwood. Simply scan the QR code with your phone to purchase your copy today.
So you've written a book. Congratulations, you're a writer. The next step is to find a publisher that will want to publish your book. Discover publishers review genre, type, length of book, along with other factors to find the right publisher for you. So whether you're writing a children's book, a religious, or spiritual themed book, Perhaps you're into the suspense, mystery, or horror genre. Even sci-fi! Whatever type of book you've written, Discover Publishers will help you find the right publisher to edit, illustrate, design, print, sell, distribute, and promote your book. We match your needs with our list of publishers and agents to find the right fit for you. And the best part, our services are free. Every day we connect writers to interested publishers. We make publishers come to your door so you can get your book on bookshelves everywhere.
Find the right publisher. Call 888-385-1985. That's 888-385-1985. 888-385-1985. Or scan the QR code for your free writer's guide.
Thank you for joining the Inkwell Academy Book Club today. We can't wait to see you next time as we continue our journey through the exciting world of literature.